So we're going to take a look at the Moline 800 power unit we've got. So I just got this thing. It's a propane motor. So we got a big old Ensign propane mixer, and it looks like a IMCO regulator. Still got the factory generator on it. You know, it's pretty much untouched. Nobody's really done anything stupid to it. It's got 7,569 hours on the hour meter, which sounds about right. It's big. Look the size of that oil bath air cleaner. I mean, it's huge. Fan. Everything about it's big. It's a big manifold. Goes into a 4-inch exhaust pipe. It's got 2 pull rings at the top for picking it up, right there and there. These things are a little bit different from the tractor motors. So we've got a governor housing here, and a magneto would have gone here. On the tractors, you've usually got a hydraulic pump here, and the distributor's right here. Where the mag goes on the 800, we've got a hydraulic pump, and then the distributor goes on here. Yeah, usually on a Moline, your governor's over here on what would be the right side of its starter. The governor's right here below the carburetor. But you can see, I don't have a magneto. I've got this cap. I don't know for sure. I think that's a Bosch mag, maybe. I gotta do some more research. I really don't know what these things had in them originally. And then instead of having an oil filter housing here, I think the oil filter is actually in the oil pan on these. I think it's in the side of the oil pan. You see there's the 3/4 inch pipe fittings to drain the oil out of it. That's the oil drain. The size of the oil pan. That is huge. Looks like maybe it's got an oil cooler on the front of it, coming out of the front of the pan there maybe. So it looks like it's actually a water line that comes in and out of the front of the oil pan. And it carries water from the side of the pump here into the oil pan, comes back out of the oil pan, comes up here with this line, goes up here and warms the regulator, goes back, goes up to the thermostat housing. So our manifold looks like it's been cracked and brazed back together. Shouldn't be too big a deal to patch that back together again. Not really sure why they had to torch that out like that, but then there's another hole here, which that hole's directly above the center of the manifold. So I don't know if some of these came with the center dump manifold and some of them came with an end dump. You see the radiator's in really nice shape. The radiator's really nice. Not sure exactly what all this is. It says, I'm guessing Deluxe Battery Company, Tampa, Florida. Heavy duty, HMBA, seal of approval, Independent Battery Manufacturers Association Incorporated. So I'm not sure what that has to do with power unit. You can see it says 390. I'm assuming that's a unit number. It's also got that sticker on the back of it. I don't really know much about that either. Got this absolutely massive V-pulley on it with this huge shaft. I mean, it's bigger than the axle on an M, I think. Huge keyed shaft. But hopefully we'll get it running. I'm not sure what we're gonna do for an ignition system. Still working on that. I don't know if I'm gonna put another mag back on it, or have some ideas of maybe a way we could rig up a distributor. I don't know if I can just drop a distributor in right here. I really don't know much about these. I don't know if I can maybe pop that housing off. Looks like there's a bolt here and a bolt back in there. Maybe that whole housing comes off. Obviously that bolt there. And maybe I could slap a housing on it that's set up for a distributor. I do have a spare parts motor we haven't seen yet. It's a 4-cylinder, but yeah, I don't know if I I don't know if that's what we could do maybe, but I still have to come up with a 6-cylinder distributor, and all I have is 4-cylinder stuff currently. And just coming up with a distributor isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world for a Moline. You don't find 6-cylinder gas Molines on every street corner. So we'll have to keep looking and see what we can come up with on it. But it's got 10A 42 12 heads on it, which I think are the LP heads. It's a 800-6A, and you're probably not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, you can't really see it. Serial number is 066032448. I'll put the year on the screen because I still haven't looked it up to see if I can figure out what year it is. But it's definitely a behemoth. They're huge, absolutely huge. Top of the hood hits me above my belly button. Not quite shoulder high, but supposedly it weighs around 3,000 pounds from what I can find online. I can't find any Moline paperwork that tells me what it weighs, but currently I'm not really sure what we're going to do with it, but I didn't want to pass on it. It's a good deal. It's not stuck. It takes a lot of effort to turn it. I don't know if it's stiff or it's just got a lot of compression, but yeah. But it looks like somebody did a compression check on it at some point. So right here we got a 155, 168, 165, and then I don't see anything written on these back three. I kind of wonder with it having that many hours on it, I wondered if it had been rebuilt. That might be a 5, that might not be an 8. But you know, it'd be pretty cool if it's got pretty decent compression, and it doesn't smoke. I'm probably not gonna be too worried about it, because no matter what we do with this thing, it's gonna be massively overpowered for anything. You know, we've talked about putting it in a tractor. You can take this whole top section off. You can't really use the crankcase in a tractor from what I understand. I don't know, you might be able to. It kind of looks like the same bell housing pattern as a G, but I'm not entirely sure on that, but you might be able to use it in a G. But anyway, you definitely can take the heads and jugs off of it, all the water piping and so forth, and put them on a regular like 425 block, and use this crank in the 425 block. So you could take like a G6 LP or G6 gas and use this engine in it, and take it from like a 60 horse tractor, 70 horse tractor to 120, 140, something like that. As it sits, these are rated, like, from what I've seen various different things, but at least between 150 and 190 it looks like, depending on what it's set up as. I think the LP motors are rated higher than the gas ones are. I don't believe they offered the 800 in diesel. It's pretty much only gas. But should be a fun little project. We're gonna try to do something with it. I just didn't want to see it somehow go to the crusher. It sat on Facebook Marketplace for a while and nobody'd messed with it, and so turned out I knew somebody that knew them, and we worked out a deal, and here it is. Had to borrow a trailer, borrowed a buddy's trailer to run and grab it, and that way it was a little lower to the ground, a little easier to unload, because I knew we weren't going to be able to pick it up once it got here. But yeah, we're going to see if we can figure out an ignition system, and probably see if we can rig something up to get it started. I don't really know, don't know what the LP situation is. Several years since that was run, so I don't know what the situation is with that. It's like those things are, this whole system's like magic to me. I have no idea. It's like voodoo science. I'm told they're not really complicated to work with, but that part I don't really know. we'll have to kind of go from there. It looks like you hook up to it down here. I guess that's a filter maybe, but I know I don't have a carburetor that's even remotely big enough to try to operate it. Like, I'd be asking way too much from it to try to put like the only carburetors I have at my disposal currently are off of like a 283 4-cylinder, so it might idle, maybe. Might be big enough to get it to idle, but I doubt it would idle well, and I highly doubt that the flange is even the same bolt pattern. And we'd probably have to make an adapter, so probably trying to get it running on the LP system is our best bet, but we'll have to find out. Like I said, this carburetor doesn't look like it's even remotely big enough to go on that 800. The distance here is way smaller, I'm pretty sure. See what we can come up with. I love how big the starter is. The starter is massive, just utterly massive. And then I love the bar to pull, you know, that's how you engage the starter. So we got battery hooked up. I'm not sure how well it's going to work because it's pretty loose on the post. It's probably, I'm going to go with probably 6 volt. It might not have been, it might have been 12 volt. But it's pretty loose on that post. We'll see what we got here. Nope. No, still nothing. Hey. Sounds pretty good. You can hear it sucking air, that's for sure. Pull this off here. Sounds all right. A little dirt came out of there, nothing crazy. I'd say she'll probably run if we get it some spark. That's another project for another day. So anyway, that's kind of the once over. Hopefully we get her running pretty soon. Hopefully we can get it going this winter before it gets too cold here. We've already had one brief snowfall, just for a few hours. It kind of sprinkled snow for a while. But all right, if you know anything about these things, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the 800s. I know a little bit about the 4-cylinders, but I'm learning as I go. So thanks for watching.